She walked into your life like a hurricane, dressed as a summer breeze. At first, everything felt electric. The chemistry, the intensity, the way she made you feel like you were the only man in the world. But now, 6 months later, you're exhausted at 2 p.m., anxious about your phone buzzing, and you can't remember the last time you felt genuinely happy. You're not losing your mind. You're being poisoned slowly and deliberately by someone who feeds on your energy like a parasite. Toxic women don't come with warning labels. They come with sob stories that activate your protector instinct. They come with sexual energy that short-circuits your judgment. They come with just enough sweetness to keep you addicted while they systematically dismantle your life. And the scariest part, they've gotten so good at this game that you'll thank them for destroying you. Let me paint you a picture of what toxic actually looks like, because it's not what you think. She twists everything to make you feel guilty. It's a game to her, and you're just a pawn. You start to doubt your own reality, questioning your actions and feelings. It's exhausting, and yet you find yourself trying to please her, to avoid the next emotional storm. The cycle continues, and you feel trapped in a relationship that drains you. It's not love, it's a toxic dance that leaves you feeling lost and confused. She turns your strengths into weaknesses. Your kindness becomes weakness she can exploit. Your success becomes something that makes her feel small, so she has to tear you down. Your friendships become threats to her control, so she systematically destroys them. Your family becomes the enemy because they see through her act. She's not just toxic, she's strategically toxic, targeting everything that makes you strong, stable, and sane. The chaos she creates isn't accidental, it's her oxygen. When things are calm, she'll manufacture drama. When you're happy, she'll find a problem. When you're succeeding, she'll create a crisis that demands all your attention. She needs you off balance, reactive, and constantly putting out fires because that's when you're easiest to control. Peace is her enemy because peaceful men have time to think, and thinking men realize they're being played. Your body knows she's toxic before your mind admits it. That constant fatigue, I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Suggestions she can ignore. The pushback will be nuclear. She'll cry. She'll rage. She'll become the victim. She'll threaten to leave. She'll actually leave. Then come back acting like nothing happened. She'll recruit other people to pressure you. She'll use every emotional weapon in her arsenal because your boundaries threaten her control. A toxic woman needs you boundaryless because that's how she feeds on your energy, your time, your resources, your sanity. Your boundaries are not mean. They're medicine. They're not punishment. They're protection. They're not about controlling her. They're about controlling what you'll accept in your life. When you set a boundary, you're not telling her what to do. You're telling her what you'll do if she continues toxic behavior. There's a massive difference, and healthy people understand it immediately. Toxic people pretend not to understand because confusion is another manipulation tactic. She just sent you a text designed to ruin your entire day. We need to talk about what you did. No context, no details, just enough information to send your mind spiraling while you try to figure out what crime you've committed in her imaginary courthouse. Your heart's racing, your stomach's in knots. You're already crafting apologies for things you haven't even done yet. And somewhere across town, she's smiling at her phone, knowing she owns your mental real estate for the next 8 hours. This is emotional fishing. And you're the fish who bites every single time. Toxic women are reaction farmers. They plant seeds of chaos and harvest your emotional responses like crops. Your anger feeds them. Your confusion gives them power. Your desperate need to fix things, that's the jackpot. They don't start fights to resolve issues. They start fights to generate the emotional chaos they need to feel alive. Watch her tactics like you're studying a predator in the wild. First comes the guilt. Grenade. I guess I'm just not important enough for you to remember our 3-week anniversary. Then the blame boomerang. I wouldn't have gone through your phone if you didn't make me feel insecure. Next, the triangulation special. Your friend agrees with me that you're being unreasonable. Finally, the silent treatment nuke. Complete radio silence until you're begging for any communication, even if it's toxic. She's figured out your triggers like a safe cracker who knows every click of the combination. Mention other women. You'll over-explain your innocence, give you the cold shoulder. You'll chase harder, cry about her terrible past. You'll rush to save her, threaten to leave. You'll beg her to stay. She's not having emotions. She's using emotions as weapons, and you keep showing up to a gunfight with your heart on your sleeve. Here's what she desperately doesn't want you to know. The only way to win this game is to stop playing. To escalate to level 2. When you don't react to level 2, she has to escalate to level 3, and so on. Each time she escalates, she reveals more of her true self and the tactics she uses to control you. By remaining neutral and composed, you take away her power and prevent her from getting the emotional response she craves. In doing so, you regain control of the situation and protect your own emotional well-being. Rehabilitation Center. You're just a man who's been destroying himself trying to heal someone who doesn't want to be healed. Emotional detachment isn't about hating her. That's what she wants. Your hatred is just another form of intense emotion she can feed on. She'd rather have your rage than your indifference, because at least rage means she still controls your emotional state. No, real detachment is looking at her the same way you'd look at a stranger having a meltdown in a grocery store with mild concern but zero personal investment. You've been carrying her emotions like they're your responsibility. When she's sad, you scramble to fix it. When she's angry, you absorb it like a punching bag. When she's anxious, you drop everything to calm her down. You've become her emotional janitor, cleaning up every mess she makes while she continues throwing garbage everywhere. But her emotions are not your problem to solve. Her trauma is not your puzzle to piece together. Self. You're not abandoning her, you're setting a boundary. It's important to recognize that her happiness is her own responsibility, not yours. By detaching, you're allowing her the space to confront her own issues without your interference. This is a crucial step in prioritizing your own mental health and well-being. Peace. You're not selfish for choosing sanity. You're not a bad person for refusing to drown while trying to save someone who's pulling you under. Choosing peace over engagement means becoming boring to her. Toxic women need drama like plants need water, and when you stop providing it, they either escalate to dangerous levels or they find another source. Either way, it reveals the truth. She was never interested in a relationship. She was interested in a hostage situation where you were both the negotiator and the victim. The beautiful part about emotional detachment is that it returns you to yourself. Suddenly, you have energy because you're not spending it all managing her moods. You have clarity because you're not lost in her manufactured confusion. You have peace because you're not constantly preparing for the next explosion. You remember what it feels like to just exist without the weight of someone else's dysfunction on your shoulders. This isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It's about redirecting your emotional energy toward people who deserve it in situations that actually matter. It's about recognizing that you can wish her well from a distance without setting yourself on fire to keep her warm. It's about understanding that love without boundaries isn't love. It's self-destruction with a romantic soundtrack. The revenge fantasies feel good, don't they? Telling her off, exposing her to everyone, making her feel the pain she caused you. But here's what separates the men who heal from the men who stay broken. You don't need to destroy her to rebuild yourself. You don't need her to admit what she did. You don't need her to apologize, understand, or change. You just need to walk away with your dignity intact and let her live with the consequences of being herself. Detaching with compassion isn't about being noble. It's about being strategic. Every moment you spend hating her is a moment she still owns, has caused. The closure you seek must come from within you. It's about accepting what happened and finding peace on your own terms. Focus on your healing and let go of the need for her acknowledgement. You deserve to move forward without being tethered to her chaos. The inmate. You don't have to forgive her actions. You don't have to understand her motivations. You just have to stop letting her rent space in your head for free. Wishing her well from a distance isn't weakness. It's power. It's saying, I hope you heal whatever made you this way, but it won't be at my expense anymore. It's recognizing that she's probably fighting demons you know nothing about, but those demons don't get to use you as a punching bag. It's understanding that hurt people, but that explanation isn't an excuse for you to volunteer as her victim. The ultimate act of compassion is accepting that the best thing you can do for both of you is leave. You're not abandoning her. You're stopping the toxic dance that's destroying both of you. You're not giving up. You're choosing peace. You're not losing. You're finally winning the only game that matters, the one where you choose yourself. This is where your real life begins. Not when she changes, not when she apologizes, not when she realizes what she lost, but right now, in this moment, when you choose to walk away with compassion instead of hatred, with wisdom instead of bitterness, with your integrity intact instead of lowering yourself to her level, you're not just leaving a toxic relationship, you're graduating from a masterclass in self-respect. Here's the question that'll make you uncomfortable. Why did you stay so long? Not her manipulation tactics, not her false promises, not the good times you were chasing. Why did you stay? Because until you answer that question honestly, you're just going to find another toxic woman with a different face but the same poison. The problem isn't just that you attracted a toxic person, it's that something in you decided to tolerate it. Maybe you confused intensity with love. That chaos felt like passion. The highs and lows felt more real than stable. Boring. You feared you weren't enough. You craved validation, and her words cut deep. Each comparison was a reminder of your insecurities, amplifying the doubts you already held. You wanted to be the one she cherished, the one who made her feel safe, but instead, you felt like a shadow, always measuring up to an impossible standard. This cycle of seeking approval and feeling inadequate has kept you trapped. It's time to confront these patterns and understand that your worth isn't defined by someone else's perception. You deserve a relationship built on mutual respect and love, not one fueled by chaos and dependency. Truth. That discomfort when she crossed boundaries, that was your wisdom. That exhaustion after every interaction, that was your body begging you to leave. You knew, you always knew, you just chose her validation over your own intuition. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You've written novels explaining your boundaries, your needs, your feelings. You've had 4-hour conversations trying to make her see your perspective. You've twisted yourself into psychological pretzels trying to find the perfect words that would finally make her get it. But she gets it. She's always gotten it. She just doesn't care. Your explanations are just giving her more data to use against you. The relationships you're clinging to are the ones killing your growth. That toxic woman isn't the only person you need to release. What about the friends who keep telling you to give her another chance? The family members who say you're too picky? The part of yourself that believes you don't deserve better. Every relationship that requires you to shrink, to settle, to sacrifice your peace, they all need to go. Radical self-awareness means recognizing that you're not the same person who entered this toxic relationship. You're someone who survived it, learned from it, and now has the wisdom to never repeat it. But that wisdom is worthless if you don't act on it. You know what you need to do. You know who you need to become. The only question left is whether you have the courage to trust yourself more than you trust her manipulation. You want to know the superpower that makes you immune to toxic people. It's not confidence, it's not boundaries, it's not even experience. It's knowing yourself so deeply that no one can tell you who you are anymore. When you know your values, your worth, and your truth at a bone-deep level, manipulation becomes impossible because you can't be than her distorted version. You become aware of your boundaries and no longer allow anyone to cross them. You learn to communicate your needs effectively and assertively. You realize that your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion of you. You start to prioritize your mental health and well-being. You understand that it's okay to walk away from toxic situations and people. You embrace your true self and no longer feel the need to conform to someone else's expectations. You become empowered to make choices that align with your values and beliefs. Ultimately, you cultivate a sense of inner peace and confidence that no one can take away from you, than her distortion of it. Emotional intelligence isn't about being soft or sensitive. It's about being strategic. It's understanding that when you feel that familiar rage building, she's trying to provoke you into becoming the bad guy. It's recognizing that when you feel desperate to fix her mood, she's using your caretaker instinct against you. It's knowing that when you feel worthless, she's activated an old wound that has nothing to do with your actual value. You're not reacting to the present anymore. You're responding with wisdom. Here's what clarity looks like in action. She starts her usual manipulation routine, and instead of getting pulled into the drama, you observe it like a scientist studying a predictable experiment. Interesting. She's using the crying technique now. In about 5 minutes, she'll switch to anger when the tears don't work. Then comes the threat to leave. Then the love bombing. You're not emotionally involved anymore. You prioritize your well-being, you start to attract healthier relationships and opportunities. You become a magnet for positivity because you radiate confidence and strength. People are drawn to your energy and they respect your boundaries. You begin to recognize your worth and refuse to settle for less. This shift in mindset empowers you to pursue your passions and dreams without fear of judgment. You learn to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what aligns with your true self. In this journey of self-discovery, you become the architect of your own life, creating a reality that reflects your values and desires. Embracing your authenticity allows you to connect deeply with others who resonate with your vibe. You cultivate a life filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment, free from the chains of toxic relationships and negative influences. This is the power of self-knowledge and self-love. You prioritize your well-being over her approval, the game ends. She can cry, but your peace matters more than her tears. She can rage, but your mental health matters more than her tantrums. She can threaten to leave, but your self-respect matters more than her presence. You're not being cruel. You're being clear about what you will and won't sacrifice. This is what real empowerment looks like. You sitting in perfect calm while she exhausts herself trying to trigger you. You sleeping peacefully while she sends 17 texts trying to start a fight. You living your life while she spirals in her self-created chaos. You're not fighting her anymore. You've transcended the battlefield entirely. The ultimate truth is this: no one can manipulate someone who knows themselves completely. No one can gaslight someone who trusts their own perception. No one can control someone who's already in control of themselves.